Welcome, Trailblazers! We can finally explore the vast expanse of space aboard the Astral Express now, and we're more than hyped about the characters we will meet along the way. Since the game is officially released now, why not revisit the character tier list to see who's really on top after the changes post-final beta? Enough chit-chat, let's depart. In this list, we will be ranking the characters based on how well they perform their job, as well as how good they are overall. It will also include some upcoming characters, so don't come after us with those baseball bats. Bronya. Who didn't expect this one? Bronya is easily the best support in version 1.0, despite getting some minor nerfs from the closed beta. Bronya's skill can single-handedly dispel debuffs, increasing damage and give an extra turn to a single ally, as long as it's not herself. Her ultimate increases attack of allies for 2 rounds as well. She is so versatile, universal, and powerful that there's almost no situation where she doesn't shine. Easy S tier. Jingyuan. A husbando amongst husbandos, Jingyuan is a silver-maned lion. While we won't have access to him until the second half of 1.0, it will all be worth it for this all-arounder DPS unit. As an erudition character, he deals incredible AoE damage, and can summon a gigantic lightning lord to deal even more damage. Thanks to the nature of his skills, he excels in both multi-target and single-target battles. This man can carry your team on his own, but he may get power creeped in the near future. Blade. This upcoming unit is a 5-star wind character of the Destruction class. What makes him so good is that he can deal insane amounts of damage, all the while soaking up significant amount of damage too. His normal attack deals 50% of his attack as wind damage to a single enemy, and his skill consumes 30% of his max HP to immediately advance action forward by 100% and increases damage. Blade's ultimate deals 28.8% of Blade's attack plus 72% of max HP as wind damage in an AoE. What's more, he self-heals. I think that's enough said. He's in this spot because we are unsure if he will get nerfed prior to release. Lucha, another upcoming unit who is currently the best healer in the whole game. It is almost ironic how a character with such flawless healing carries around a coffin. But at least he's prepared for the worst. Unlike most healers, Lucha scales of his attack, meaning that he can deal some solid damage of the imaginary element while saving your team. What makes him even more OP is his ability to remove buffs from enemies via his ultimate. He's also the perfect support for Blade, as his passive heal makes sure Blade's HP sacrifices don't risk him at all. He too might get nerfed before release, but supports are not as easily power crept. Zilla. As the game's first ever limited 5-star, Zilla stands her ground as an amazing single-target DPS who can really dish out bucket loads of damage within a short period of time. Make sure you prioritize attack, speed, and crit when building her, and you will have a solid DPS for a while. Her element is Quantum, a rare element in the game as of now, and follows the Hunt class. The reason she is here is that she is strictly single target, and may get power crept very soon. A tier. Clara. Before you come at us with baseball bats, we know just how OP Clara is. But the issue is that she follows a very specific playstyle, which requires the player to have a deep understanding of how she works and possibly a team that supplements her. Her mechanic is all about counterattacking, making her potential almost limitless. She primarily works as a sub-tank and physical DPS unit, who can even deal extra damage between turns and draws aggro to herself. On that note, she works extremely well with March 7th. What makes this destruction character even cooler is her animation alongside the badass robot Svarog. Gepard. People really sat on this character during the closed beta, but he's a solid gold now. This man is a fantastic tank, who can also work as a sub-DPS, capable of freezing annoying enemies and providing the whole team with extremely thick shield to block damage. He's currently the best shielder in the game, as his ultimate provides the highest damage absorption thus far, on top of covering the whole team. His only weakness is his low energy recharge rate, but you can fix that with some good gear. Bailu. Until Lucha is released, Bailu will be the best healer in the game. We're low on healers right now, and this little dragon is capable of reviving his first ally that gets knocked out in the battle, making her a solid support indeed. She can also apply the buff Invigoration, which allows allies to restore HP when they get hit. The reason she is here is because she's going to get power crept very soon. and might eventually become the Kiki of Star Rail. Welt. Welt is the only imaginary character in the game right now, and is quite the potent debuffer. In addition, he's the only character who can delay actions and reduce speed of enemies in 1.0, overall generating more turns for your whole team. His AoE skill and ultimate are extremely good at breaking imaginary weakness shields, all the while dealing good damage. The best part is, there is a 100% base chance for enemies hit by this ultimate to be inflicted with imprisonment, leaving them unable to act. Hands down, one of the best supports of 1.0. Kafka. She is yet to be released, but almost everyone is waiting for her. This lightning character of Nihility Path excels at debuffing enemies and reducing their overall powers. She also does great AoE damage and inflicts foes with shock, causing them to take DOT lightning damage each turn. As of now, we believe she would excel as a sub DPS who can really weaken enemies thanks to her attack scaling as well. She would work best with other DOT units like Sampo or Jingyuan, making a truly nasty combo indeed. Ting Yun. Didn't get Bronya? No worries. This fox lady has you covered. Ting Yun is one of the best supports of 1.0, possessing a skill that can increase the attack of a single ally. Her ultimate restores energy and increases the damage of a single ally as well. What else? Well, she is a waifu. B tier. Trailblazer Fire. The most free-to-play unit on this list is no one else but the Fire MC. He or she functions as a very strong tank that can protect the entire team via solid shield. They can even use their skill to taunt all enemies and reduce the damage taken, deal blast damage from their normal attack, and increase the survivability overall. They're also potent at breaking fire weakness shields, so don't sleep on this one. Silverwolf. This Bronya variant is a high impact damage dealer who specializes in bringing down single targets. While she may lack AoE potential, her bug debuffs are game-breaking in almost any team comp. These debuffs apply DOT and force weaknesses on her enemies through hacking. She works well with other debuffers, but can also work wonders in any situation by providing some much-needed resistance shred. She is of the rare Quantum Element too, so we have high hopes for her. Hopefully, she will not be nerfed too much by the time of her release. Su Shang. Need a solid DPS, but don't have enough to summon a 5-star? Worry not, Su Shang has got you covered. This character is a real monster of a physical DPS, especially if you unlock her E1. She's so good, she can even compete with 5-star, growing stronger when weakness breaks. If you get her from the gacha, rejoice. The only downside is her high energy cost ultimate. C tier. We will not be giving descriptions on these characters, because most of their placements here are kind of obvious. This does not mean that they are bad in any way, but just possess some weaknesses that keep them from being as good as the ones discussed. And remember, all these characters can work wonders if properly geared and played right. Natasha, Yan Xing, Arlan, Dan Heng, Asta. D tier. Don't let the tier fool you. These characters simply excel at a very specific scenarios and team comps. So if you want to play with them, it's best to follow a guide. Himeko, March 7th, Serval, Pella, Trailblazer Physical, Herta, Sampo, Qing Xue, Hook. And that's all for this tier list. We hope you got a concise idea about who stands where in the current meta of Honkai Star Rail. But remember, meta isn't everything, and you ought to play whoever you wish. There will be so many changes as the game goes forward, so do not take this as the ultimate verdict. If you found this video useful, be sure to give it a like and smash that subscribe button on the way out. Thank you so much for watching.